Richard.
And I'm Lolly Swain.
And you're listening to The Way It Is. The headlines tonight: Trimble trembles, Stormont stumbles.
Disney frog, dome agog.
Hijack boar, Stansted snore.
Hide a high, Europe low.
Alan Michael quits, who gives us?
Richard!
Not content with losing money hand over fist, now the Dome's not letting 1 million school kids visit the body zone. Tony Strutt, the Dome's spokesman, is here with yet another lame excuse. Why not give up, Strutt?
Oh, no, Richard, come on, this is a good one, this. You see, Labour's plans to repeal Section 28 have been rejected by the House of Lords. Under existing legislation, we could be sued.
Why would anybody sue you? Bomb you, yes, but I can't see the point in suing you.
Well, it's the body zone, Richard. It's a clear breach of Section 28. Imagine this, right? Little Nigel and Katie, holding hands, joyfully enter the non-gender specific body shape. But through what? Is that its front bottom or its back bottom? You see, we're encouraging them to experiment, you see.
Oh, come on.
Well, as they slip through the body zone's opening, or gash, as it's effectively known, little Katie starts to question, what is this love I have for Barbie? While Nigel wonders, should my action men be fighting each other? Shouldn't they rather be getting down to some action, man-on-man action? Without the interference of the Canadian mounted police action man and his rather small horse.
Yes, that's enough, Strutt. Give us the truth.
All right, the body zone's crap and the kids will spot it a mile off.
Thank you.
Northern Ireland news now. The IRA are still holding out over arms decommissioning. Joining me on the line is Sinn Féin spokesman Fergus Connor.
You see, Lolly, the reality is that decommissioning has already begun.
Has it? When?
Well, the Continuity IRA decommissioned 2 kilograms of brand new Semtex outside a hotel last Sunday night.
That was a bomb, Mr. Connor.
That's a semantic point, Lolly. No, it became a bomb when it went off. Before that, it was just a car full of explosives.
Do you really expect us to believe that, Mr. Connor?
Lolly, the reality is that both the Continuity and real IRA plan to hand in their bullets, one by one, of course, and directly to our UC offices.
Well, that's a start.
Yeah. At a velocity of 500 meters a second.
Goodbye, Mr. Connor.
Jörg Haider, Austria's very own ersatz Hitler, this week claimed there were a lot of similarities between his policies and those of Tony Blair. Could this be true? With me now is government information satrap Brian Stern. Mr. Stern, your reaction to Herr Haider's statement?
I'm frankly disgusted, Richard, that Mr. Haider could say such a thing.
Yes, this, after all, is a man who panders to the paranoia of the middle classes at the expense of the poor and needy, who manipulates the media to peddle his right-wing propaganda, and who wants to keep his country pure by stopping immigration.
Exactly.
So that's Blair. What about Haider?
Well, Haider's completely different. Hang on a minute. No, you tricked me there, didn't you? No, look, I have to state that Haider is absolutely nothing like Herr Blair. It's sorry, Mr. Blair. You see, Mr. Blair would never say anything so hollow and caustic.
So that's a Blair Holocaust?
Yes. No. There's nothing Germanic or fascistic about Tony, and if push comes to shove, push comes to shove, Haider will have to get his own image.
Right, so the messianic complex, the far-right policies, the hatred of foreigners,
yes.
Mr. Blair can keep all that.
Yes, no. You've got to understand that we're talking about a dangerous dictator modelled on Hitler, isolated in Europe and prepared to stop at nothing to enslave the world.
And that's Mr. Blair?
Yes. No. You always do this. You think you're so clever, don't you, you BBC Trotskyite? Look, once and for all, let me state that Tony Blair is a Nazi, nice guy, and a father-to-be. So will you please stop trying to infer that he is an evil dictator?
He's not.
No, he's a benevolent dictator, and he... No.
Mr. Stern, the truth is out.
Oh, to be blonde.
13 million of us want them, another 2 million will by the end of the year, and new ones are emerging all the time. What are they? Female politicians.
They used to be a novelty, but these days everyone from Hillary Clinton to Jerry Halliwell is entering the fray. This week, Tarja Halonen became Finland's first woman president. Core. From Helsinki, where female politicians now outnumber people by nearly 2 to 1, here's Matt Black.
They used to be a novelty, but these days everyone from Hillary Clinton to Jerry Halliwell is entering the fray. And this week, Tarja Halonen became Finland's first woman president. Cool. And here in Finland, female politicians now outnumber people by nearly 2 to 1. This is Matt Black for The Way It Is, Helsinki.
Thanks, Matt. Listening to that report, and on the line now is Paulie Haikilo, who advises the new president on gender equality. Paulie, how do you account for the number of female politicians in Finland?
It's very cold in Finland.
Yes.
Much of the population spend their weekends rolling barrels of frozen herring down icy riverbanks and thrashing their naked buttocks with strips of leather soaked in runny cheese.
Yes, but what about the extraordinary number of female politicians, where Finland is now leading the world in this form of matriarchal domination?
It's very cold in Finland.
Yes, well, we've had about enough of that. Paulie Haikilo there from Finland, to think they invented Pingu. Scientists have made the discovery that the gene responsible for hibernation in various animals could well be present in humans. And if they can activate the gene, hibernation for space travel may become possible, or even long-term hibernation for, say, Pink Floyd concerts. To demonstrate the complexities of this research is our resident science and technology expert, Dr. Benjamin Hardstaff. Hello, Dr. Hardstaff.
And good evening, Dickie. More power to you.
Yes. Now, what have you got to show us?
Well, Dickie, I have with me 2 snuffly, cuddly-wuddly little hedgehogs. This one here, snuffling about, is Cyril the hedgehog. And this one here, quietly asleep, is Jemima the hedgehog. Jemima the hedgehog is asleep because I, Dr. Benjamin Hardstaff, have managed to artificially activate her hibernation gene.
Are you sure she's asleep?
Oh, I'm quite sure. But I can wake her easily. Jemima the hedgehog. Jemima the hedgehog. Jemima the hedgehog! There we are. There you see. She moved.
No, she didn't. That was you hitting the box.
I don't believe I did.
Did. Hello, Jemima. Jemima hedgehog. That is what I call a dead hedgehog.
No, you see, you stunned her.
Stunned her?
Yes, you stunned her just as she was about to wake up. You see, they stun easily, the Hampshire Browns.
Look, Hardstaff, you assured me just before the programme, not half an hour ago, that this hedgehog's total lack of movement was due to it being totally shagged out following a prolonged snuffle.
Well, she's probably pining for the compost.
Pining for the compost? Dr. Hardstaff, you are simply resorting to a 1960s Monty Python sketch to get out of this.
Oh, no, I didn't expect the Spanish Inquisition from you, Richard.
So what do you intend to do?
Well, I suppose I could try and phobe Lolly's genes.
I think you'll find Lolly's hibernation gene kicked in years ago.
That isn't strictly what I meant, Dickie. The wife's away, a man has needs.
Thank you, Dr. Hardstaff.
Have you got a tissue?
Prince William has had a row with his dad over what form his 18th birthday party should take. It says so in the tabloids, so it must be true.
Here with an artist's impression of the argument is Radio 4's very own sound effects maestro, René Dupois.
It is clear to me that the Prince of Wales would like a sophisticated, elegant soiree. Something a bit like this. Fine wines, canapes,
Oh, prawn vol-au-vents. Yummy.
a host of important dignitaries, film stars, supermodels, not to mention Camilla Parker Bowles. But of course, William wants something a little bit different. Special treats for William's friends. And of course, Sarah Palmer Tompkinson.
René Dupois there with some pointless speculation in sound. Time now for another enchanting visit to the Lilliputian realm of local papers, as Hilliard Jensen makes another local call.
I thought this was the and patronising, Richard.
Hilliard's lightness of touch and eye for detail has transformed my opinion, Lolly. Now, Hilliard, are you there?
Hilliard's here.
Splendid. Where are you this week?
Well, Richard, see if you can guess. It's the birthplace of writer Somerset Maugham at the
Whitstable.
town...
Is it? Sorry.
Yes, that's right, Richard, Whitstable. And at the Whitstable Horn, delivered free every Tuesday, the talk is all of the dome. The Whitstable Dome, that is. Belying its humble origins as a caravan with a large tarpaulin stretched over it, the Whitstable Dome features over 3 separate booths, including the parking zone, where you can experience what experts believe will be the kind of traffic delays that will be widespread in Whitstable by 2010.
Fascinating. And one in the eye for Greenwich.
Absolutely, Richard. But it's another zone which is causing all the fuss, the erogenous zone. This is a glimpse of a future where potential partners will use technology to judge sexual compatibility. It is, in fact, a little machine you put your finger in and it tells you how sexy you are. Imagine. But the burghers of Whitstable are outraged. They are trying to have it shut down and burnt under their very own Section 28, the Whitstable bylaw that states that it's an offence punishable by stoning to promote the making of the beast with two backs. They say they may also be able to close down the attraction altogether under another bylaw which prohibits the use of colours in a public place.
Thank you, Hilliard. She really is providing a unique glimpse into the heart of our nation, eh, Lolly?
Mm-hmm.
I think perhaps we should get her into the studio next week. She could even stand in for you while you're on honeymoon.
I'm really not sure she's up to it, Richard. No offence, but she's really just a stupid pony girl without a thought in her head.
Well, not feeling threatened, are we?
Threatened by a girl with a paper round? Hardly.
And what was it you were doing before this job? River traffic reports from the floating eye, wasn't it? That's it. I can see how that would be an altogether better grounding for a career in broadcast journalism.
If I find her hanging around my patch, there'll be trouble.
Plump singing council house refugee Jerry Halliwell has literally gone walkabout this week on a new BBC programme designed to continue her rebranding as a caring, sharing pop star.
It's part of an advertising campaign to up her new profile, and it continues with a selection of TV ads to be run over the coming weeks. As luck would have it, we've got one here.
The all-new Jerry Halliwell. Created from an unsubtle blend of 5 spices, the all-new Jerry comes in several lumpy sections that go together to create one unattractive lump, consisting mostly of the Earth's natural oils such as ulei and polyfiller. The all-new Jerry manages to appear much younger than she actually is, and is now available in any colour, except ginger.
Miss Halliwell may go down as well as up. Your credibility is at risk. They contain nuts.
A new advert for Jerry Halliwell there should fit in nicely alongside the one with the singing cows.
It was when the hijacked plane reached Stansted, the engines were switched off, and the terrorists continued patrolling the aisles with loaded weapons, that the worst fears of the hostages were realised.
They were in Essex.
And now, today's reflections with the Very Reverend Jez Wright.
Hi. Around this time of year, I like to surprise my young Vietnamese wife by taking her up the chocolate box. This is, of course, the confectionery shop in Chiswick High Street, run by my father, Les. I take my wife there a few days before Valentine's to choose whatever sweet meats take her fancy. She's particularly fond of my father's yogurt-coated nuts. You see, many of us buy our loved ones gifts on February the 14th to show that we care about them. But if you don't get a card or message this Valentine's Day, don't worry. There's always someone who thinks of you as his snuggly Hanoi honey bunny, who sends his love every day of the year, and whose Valentine's card to us is the New Testament. Well, it's Jesus, isn't it? Well, I know the Bible doesn't rhyme now, but it did when it was in Hebrew. Possibly. Anyway, so go on, come to church and offer God a box of chocolates. I would avoid black magic, though. He won't get the irony.
The Northern Ireland peace process hangs in the balance, with the government's deadline fast approaching and the IRA still refusing to hand in a single bullet.
Yes, and with the continuity IRA vowing to prolong violent struggle, it's a pretty grim situation. But let's stop for a moment, take time out for a gentle contemplation with the sparse yet noble economy of concentrated poetic thought that is haiku. By me. White dove of peace lies, dying, gasping. Hear her last swan song. Coo, coo,
I thought that ever since one attacked you at Alton Towers, you've avoided swans, Richard.
Yes, but I'm now trying to deal with my fear of the white-winged demon through metaphysical poetry.
Of course, yes. Following last week's shock reshuffle of the Shadow Cabinet, everyone has been asking, is this the lineup with which William Hague will finally have some sort of impact on the public imagination?
Indeed, the newsroom talk has been of little else. But how to tell? Well, this is probably as much use as anything. Using the power of anagrams to divine the hidden fate of Hague's Big Three, here's anagramancer Manga Ra.
Well met, Richard. Soon I shall reveal Hague's destiny, but first I have made great advances on uncovering the grim secrets encrypted within Gloria Hunniford. The name alone yields little, but analyse presenter Gloria Hunniford, and the tiles do speak. Daft, sneering, lupine horror. Finger up, trashier Londoner. Foul, sneering, horrid parent.
Yes, the Shadow Cabinet, please, Ra.
Refined gonorrheal turnip.
Now!
Very well. Shadow Home Secretary Anne Widdicombe, the tiles reveal beheaded swinery or choicest madwoman. Obvious. But also hedonism's dreamier ache, wanted cowboy, which shows an unexpected vulnerable side. Shadow Chancellor Michael Portillo is transubstantiated by the power of anagramancy into hell, sharp choice, clitoral old woman. Who could they mean? The Baroness herself? Hardcore, cool phallicism, now lethal, is chilling, but definitive is chocolate child porn is well amoral H. That H, an unambiguous reference to you-know-who. On the subject of Shadow Foreign Secretary, the tiles, Richard, are silent.
What? How can the tiles be silent?
I don't know who it is.
Thank you, Manga Ra.
I am but a conduit.
Yes, you're close.
The evidence mounts against Jeffrey Archer as his former literary agent admits being asked to alter evidence at the 1987 libel trial.
Even if Archer emerges without a prison sentence, he will be left with at best a severely tarnished reputation and at worst, complete and utter financial ruin, humiliation, possibly divorce and disgrace, the derision of schoolboys in the street. No analysis, I just love saying it. The government is thought to be considering proposals to raise the minimum driving age to 18. Trying to park this in a space reserved for feminist issues is Julie Bristol.
Once again this week, women are being made to pay for the irresponsibility of young male drivers. Leave women drivers alone! Young women are nice and smiley and drive pastel-coloured hatchback special editions called Party and Breeze round roundabouts so we can eat Maltesers. They are safe! Young men drivers are sexually inadequate and can't go 2 feet without racing something. They drive cars named after porn mags like Escort and Fiesta. Men, Jeremy Clarkson, stop! Women reach their sexual peak at the age of 34. By this time, they are clever and know how to drive. Men reach theirs at 19, but they are stupid and can't get any, so they go out burning rubber. Fact! Condoms are made of rubber. Fact! Men think the road is like a woman. Just listen to Garth Brooks. Ergo, men want to burn women with their penises. Boy racers, boy rapists, more like. I'm Julie Bristol.
There was a vote of no confidence this week against Leader of the Welsh Assembly, Alan Michael. To find out what the people of Wales really think of him, we're going to opt out Newsnight style to the way it is Welsh studio.
What's wrong with this programme? Why on earth do we have to listen to the barbarians in the provinces?
Well, Richard, some would say we're too London-centric. So in the interest of fairness and equality, let's go over now to our Cardiff studio.
Hello, I'm David.
And I'm Gwenny Jones.
And this is the Wales it is, isn't it?
Headlines tonight.
Male voice choir, Max Boyce, Dyer.
Sheep farmer must be calmer.
The English are bastards. The English are...
Stop it!
No confidence, no surprise. It's about time the English gave us a proper bloody parliament instead of an assembly. We're not school children.
Talking about this important issue today on our regular opinion slot, Look You, is token English person Chelsea Smug. So, Chelsea, tell us about the news about Alan first got out.
I believe it was a leak.
Oh, yes, very clever. The Welsh hate the English. We don't want you involved in our politics. And all the best bands and singers are from here. So there.
And now the English are in a quandary about their dome. Playwright Ryan Ithan has written a play about it. The play is called Dome is Where the Art Is and examines an intense relationship between a young English dome expert and his nanny.
I know what you've been up to, Neville. You've handed over control of our premier tourist attraction to a fancy Disney-fied Frenchman, haven't you?
But, Nanny, why shouldn't the good people of England have their Millennium experience run by the French? After all, we're completely incapable of doing anything for ourselves, unlike the Welsh, who are brilliant administrators. Just look at Lloyd George and that Ruth Maddock.
Neville, I've got something to tell you. I'm gay.
So am I, Nanny, just like all English people.
But, Neville, don't you realise, as well as being big softies without any good bands or singers, we've also been oppressing the honest people of Wales for centuries?
Oh, my God, Nanny. What have I done?
And you can hear the rest of Dome is Where the Art Is on Radio Swansea tomorrow at 2 p.m. Daffyd.
The English are bastards.
You see, Lolly? Savages.
Richard, they might burn down the studio.
Yet another glamorous celebrity criminal is in the news.
Yes, legendary armed robber Mickey Green is under arrest in Spain and could be extradited to Britain. He's suspected of being one of the world's biggest drug barons. How exciting!
Lolly, you're behaving like Barbara Windsor.
I'm joined in the studio now by Reggie Trump, whose book, My Mischievous Little Cockney Ways, describes his role in the London criminal world of the 1970s.
Hello, darling.
Hello, Mr. Trump. Now, did you know Mickey Green?
What, Greenie? Big Mick Green, the Mickmeister? The Jolly Green Giant? Mickey G? No, never met him, no.
But you're aware of his work?
Oh, yeah, the old Mick Atollo was head of the most successful armed robbery gang in the 1970s, called the Wembley Mob. So named because they were based in Wembley and they were a mob.
Fascinating. Now, I've been reading your book in which you describe your various acts of quite chilling violence.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got to remember it was different back then, all right? I wasn't like these toe rags today, beating up old women. I used to beat up young women. In many ways, it was a golden age.
But aren't you just glamorising thuggery and lawlessness? Apart from your violent behaviour, you were also involved in extortion rackets, drug trafficking, prostitution and hardcore pornography.
Well, you know, I had to get involved in all of them things. I had a position to maintain.
Which was?
Head of the CID.
Reggie Trump, thank you. See, Richard, I'm nothing like Barbara Windsor.
No, of course not. Perhaps I was thinking of Hattie Jakes.
Oh, don't you start. My dad used to compare me with Hattie Jakes when I was a slightly tubby teenager. He was always shouting, "Ooh, matron," at me.
Yes, I've been meaning to talk to you about him, Lolly. I was wondering if you'd like him to come and stay with you for a while.
Aha! I knew that living with my father would drive you mad. Well, you've just got to put up with it. He's not staying with
I
me.
just wanted you to put him up for one night while I repaint his room.
How long is he staying?
Well, until the wedding, I suppose. Have you decided on a venue yet?
Oh, haven't I told you, Richard? It's here, in the studio, live on national radio. We've got a special licence.
Really? Is that narcissistic?
No, Anglican.
Right, never mind. This week, Prince Charles cancelled a trip to Austria following growing concern over the rise of Jörg Haider's far-right Freedom Party. Lloyd Fisher is in Vienna. Lloyd, what was the Prince going to Austria for?
Trade show.
What sort?
Don't know.
Where's it at?
Ditto.
Disappointment?
Big blow.
Weather good?
Lots of snow.
Any pirates?
Yo ho ho.
Drunk on schnapps?
Nice warm globe.
Famous runner?
Sebastian Coe.
Hall and Oates?
Say no go.
Name two stooges.
Larry and Moe.
Name one more.
Curly Joe.
Taking drugs?
Just say no.
Catch a tinker?
By the toe.
If he hollers?
Let him go.
Eeny meeny.
Miney Mo.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Righto.
The House of Lords has been in a right old 2 and 8 over Section 28. They've thrown out Tony's plans to turn our children gay with filthy, notorious pornographic propaganda, such as Jenny lives with Eric and Martin.
But are such unconventional arrangements really anything to get hot under the collar about? Our correspondent James Gravelax has been living with Eric and Martin for the past 3 years. He's on the line now. James, how is life in a bi-paternal household?
Buy is right, Richard. For these two delightful men in whose chic Soho loft I currently lodge like a pigeon never seem to stop shopping. Whether it's Dolce & Gabbana sun-dried tomatoes, Versace breath mint dispensers, or pants, they spend money like Jeff Stryker, so I've discovered, spends seed. From the artwork on the wall celebrating the life of the working man, changing tyres, grappling with vast oily machinery, and clasping delicate flowers between his naked buttocks, to the stylishly marbled bathroom suite with its cunning manacles in the shower unit to prevent slippage. This is a household that screams disposable income. A household where style and function meet, Richard, in a tight, masculine clench. And unlike many young bachelors sharing a flat, Eric and Martin are both excellent cooks. Martin's cocker van, or Martin's cocker van driver, as he jokingly calls it, is legendary. And he's always saying that he'll pop out and grab a chicken, though he often forgets and returns home with a young friend instead. Why, only last night, I'll be truthful, early this morning.
Yes, it's fascinating. But what about the parenting skills of these two young men? Do they strike you as potentially capable of raising children?
I certainly seem to think so, Richard. Indeed, Eric was boasting only yesterday that he doubted there was a boy in London he couldn't raise. Though I have to say, Martin seemed to find this remark hilarious, and there is the possibility he was being ironic. But there is one major stumbling block if these two wish to raise children, Richard, thoughtful, kind, and exceptionally clean though they may be. And that, it seems to me, is that neither of them has a wife. Indeed, though they often claim to be friends of a certain Dorothy, I've never seen her, or indeed any other women here at all, though some of their men friends occasionally dress up to compensate. And it seems a great shame, Richard, that in a world where the likes of Prince Edward and William Hague can find attractive and indeed almost identical young wives, that two nice young men like this remain alone. Yet each night, as they gather with the other hopeful young men on Old Compton Street, hoping to spy the girl of their dreams, no doubt, I can't help
James,
it.
I think the reason why Eric and Martin have not found wives may be that they are not looking for wives. Eric and Martin are gay. They are a gay couple. That, James, is the whole point.
Gay?
Yes.
What, an actual gay couple here in Eric and Martin's loft?
Yes.
Right. Well, that explains the, everything. Let's see. Scenes of terrible devastation here, Richard, which I'd rather not go into. I'm going to go and have a long think about what's happened here.
Thank you, James. I'm Richard.
And I'm Lolly Swain.
And that's the way it is.